selectivehearing.co.za.
There's a war going on, stop being safe from.
Yeah, yeah. What? Tabs, you wanna flow there? Yeah, I can see you. I can see you. You wanna get in there?
I would not dare. I would not dare.
Oh yeah? Why not, fam? Why not?
Bruh. Those days for me are gone.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. You know, I used to be a breakdancer.
So you say. You don't tell me, man.
I used to be a breakdancer, dog. I was one of the best, I'm telling you.
Oh yeah?
And I used to do it in church.
Where it is
I was a
born.
revolutionary, man.
You're spinning with your head there, yeah?
I'm telling you, dog.
Were you using the Bible as like a floor cushion? Oh,
Nah,
yeah.
man. We were on another tip, bruh. We were spiritual in our breakdancing. I'm telling
I feel you. Yo, guys, welcome to another episode here of Selective Live.
Yes, sir.
Selective Sundays, Selective Hearing, in a place to be. It's Mafiana, right here on ones and twos.
And your main man, Tabs on the house.
Yo.
Let's go get it. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. I think it's an interesting night for us. By the way, we are aware that the president is speaking later tonight. We got you for that. Tonight we got we're having this music room chat. We're gonna have a few people join us on phone calls, and if you want to talk to us, you're also free to do it on the chat room.
Chat room there.
Hit us up. We're gonna play some videos for you as well and talk about those artists. Maya Spector. We're gonna check out Ginger Trill and Top Gog. We also have Tiffany
Joseph.
Yes, I love the performance, bruh. And then we're gonna chat also about some of the big news that just popped in South Africa. For those who don't know, Black Coffee now has a huge, majority stake in Gallo
Records.
And Gallo has a proper stable. Gallo historically matters in South Africa's music scene. So we have a short chat about that with a cat who's calling in from Pretoria, a major industry cat, I think. Before that though, we will also cover this guy Adon Gill, producer, beatmaker, interesting motherfucker.
Yeah, I think most of you know Adon Gill. Adon was with us here for a long time when we were prepping this place and building Selective Live.
Yes.
You know, and so we're gonna showcase some of his beats, you know, and as like me and my man's Adon's actually we linked up because of music, and it was awkward actually when we first I'll speak to that with him when we talk to him later on, but yeah, so he's one of those cats, also builds and makes nice beats and boom bap beats. He's produced also for a couple of artists as well in the hip hop scenery, South African hip hop, that is. Yeah, he's got some nice beats. Yeah, so be prepared to check that out. Yo.
Buntu, I see you. I'm not gonna rap. Buntu's asking me to rap. I'm not gonna do that tonight. But I tell you what, I will do that after the lockdown, after Corona. That'll be me rapping. Check it out.
Yeah, yo.
Right now, we're going to move on to Maya Spector. Check out this song of hers, which I think was really dope.
Every Time. Was it Every Time? Right? It's Every Time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Maya Spector, yo, guys. Check it out. Here we go.
That's it. I mean, I can't do a Shakira, but you know that kind of thing. Yeah. You know when the things are moving like this, you move everything in an S. Hey! So this song is called Every Time. Sydney, don't crazy, they don't understand the way that I feel when you hold my hand. I crazy. They don't understand the way that I feel when you hold my hand. I get dizzy, my knees go weak. You swept me off my feet, oh honey. My heart skips a beat every time we speak, every single time we meet. I'm floating on cloud nine. It's got to be a crime, the way you make me feel. My sweet, your kisses taste like wine. Control no longer mine on this roller coaster ride. Do I have to tell you just how much you mean to me? Or is it written all over my lips? Yes. Can you feel the tension in the air? It's almost impossible to bear. Every time we speak, every single time we meet, I'm floating on cloud nine. It's got to be a crime, the way you make me feel. My sweet, your kisses taste like wine. Control no longer mine on this roller coaster ride. Do 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 you do do you ba do you da do you da do him. So no they don't they. See, so da they do do da do they don't. Go dun 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 they they. Somebody that you but they don't die, oh, don't die, oh. Do I have to tell you just how much you mean to me? Or is it written all over my lips? Can you feel the tension in the air? It's almost impossible to bear. Every time we speak, every single time we meet, I'm floating on cloud nine. It's got to be a crime, the way you make me feel. My sweet, your kisses taste like wine. Control no longer mine on this roller coaster, 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 roller coaster ride. Yeah. It's hot here. You guys all right? Am I sweating too much? No? All right. It's okay, the hair's curly today. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. So this is a song I wrote about 2 years ago. I was working on a cruise ship. Huh? You guys been on a cruise ship before? Don't go. It's horrible. Don't go. Don't go. So another thing that we have to do as musicians, sometimes we have to work for the man, you know? So I worked on this cruise ship, and then I met this wonderful gentleman there to help me pass the time. And you know what I mean? So, and on one of the last nights that I was there, he took me to the front of the ship. We were in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and it was the most beautiful night, and we literally had the whole ship to ourselves. It felt like. Yeah, you remember the story. Yeah, I told you. I told her the other story. I'm not gonna tell you. So, yeah. And we were sitting there and saw all the wonderful stars. And when I came back to Cape Town, I wrote this song remembering that experience. It's called Anchors Away.
Oh yeah, that was Maya Spector for everybody.
Yeah, respect.
Yeah,
Maya.
man. Maya just got an album out. It's worth checking out, I think. You should check out Maya Spector, man. Beautiful vocalist from Cape Town. Globetrotter. Has been in the scene, doing the things, make some great music.
Yep, and she's also a piano teacher, yo.
Oh, that's right. Maya's giving piano lessons.
Yeah. And she's been giving lessons online as well.
I could do with some lessons, bro.
Me too. I think I should just go
I
there.
do with some piano lessons. Yeah.
I
I think we wanna get into some beat making.
Yeah.
We were telling you guys about Adon Gill.
Yeah. One of the cats who chills at home and just do this thing, eh? He's here.
Don't you have
The
one
drum
of those
machine. Yeah,
machines? One of those machines somewhere.
Yeah,
This is what
maybe.
it looks like. For those who don't know,
Whoa.
this is what it looks like. What beat makers be chilling with all day and night. They don't sleep, these people, eh? That's
of
it. There you
these.
go right now. And you're supposed to.
Yeah, knock it here. Until it makes hits.
Yeah.
Until he makes hits, yo.
You hit
For
it till you
days.
get a hit.
Yeah, you hit it to get a hit.
There you go. His
That's
name
what's
is Adon Gill. Adon was with us when we started Selective Live, man. He's a videographer, he's a photographer, he's an all-round creator that also makes dope music. And matter of fact, for all you jazz cats out there, Adon Gill did a dope beat sampling Herbie Swahili. It's not out yet, so don't go searching for it. But watch the space. I know. I actually played it for Bri Herbs. I played it for Herbie Swahili. He was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing, Tabiso, man. This is amazing."
Yeah, if you don't know Heavy, just look him up. Happy to Eli. And that song is Umalume.
Malum, yeah, man.
Malume.
All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna play one of Adon's beats, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, at the moment we wanna just showcase what he does and stuff, you know, and how he manufactures, you know, how in the factory. Yeah. So we're gonna do that just now.
Shout out to Gino. I see you. Thanks for joining us. Aware.
Yeah. Check this out. This is Adon's beat, yo. Alright, yo. As they say, that the beat can never walk alone. Yo, this one's for Gino. Can you hear me or see me though? As I come through with a style, it's like I'm not another little negro. Or should I say, I'm like another torpedo. When I drop, MCs be like, he's ill though, but he's coming in like oxygen. But you know how I seal though, like stitches. MCs be dropping their wishes like it's their birthday. I'm a lyrical sensei. I said this live on Selective Live for 5, and my man's Gino still listening with the selective hearing as we disappearing. Wait.
Yo, that one goes out to Gino. Mafiana on the bars. I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming.
I try, man. I try.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yo, what you just heard right now is Adon on the line. He's going to have a chat with us real quick. Do we have him there?
All right.
Cool.
We got him.
So,
yo, Adon, what's up, fam?
Family, I'm good, man. I'm all good. Great hearing from you, brother. How are you doing?
Yeah, all good, man. All good, yeah. It's been a minute. Yeah, and people need to hear.
It's been a minute. But life must go on. Life is going on. So it's all good. Miss you all, brothers. Miss you, and miss the movement, and miss everything about our Cape Town.
Man, miss you too, bro. Miss you too.
Yeah, that's Adon and Tabiso there doing their own whatever it is.
It's called love, bro. It's called love.
Yeah, it's called love. Yes, it's love your brothers.
Adon Gill, let me take it back, man. So you have been making music for a while. I know you've worked with different cats. I think one of the best performances I've seen in Cape Town was you on stage with all your production equipment, and you had Ryan Swain, and you had Matthew Lenting, and people are like, oh my god, what it was during a pop-up party.
It was during a pop-up party.
Yes.
With Grant on the bass.
We were collaborating with people from Joburg, the pop-up party.
Yeah.
And Adon, you were doing your set there. Oh man, how's it going, bro? Like, the beat making, dog. Why so dope?
So I wouldn't call myself dope, but
maybe the question is like, how long have you been making these beats, man?
I've been making music since I think 2005. Yeah, I think 2005. But you know, I started learning then. Fast forward till now, I'm still on the ground. I'm still pushing, and growing also, man. It's a beautiful journey. It's a beautiful musical journey. But it's been a long time.
Sure. Yeah, tight, man. I can see it's gelling together there, and it's like, maybe can you tell people of what you're using to make your beats? Like, what goes with these instruments, or what's the process that you go through?
Obviously, I am a producer first, and I haven't really taken time to invest my energy and time and learning an instrument like acoustically, you know. So I'm software based. They call it DAW, you know.
DAW, DAW, yeah.
Yes.
For those who know, it's called a digital audio
workstation.
Yeah. So I'm a DAW-based producer, but now currently I'm using Editing Live. But I started on Reason. I think it was Reason 2.5 in 2005.
Sure. Reason 2.5, yo. Jesus, I'm sure that's like 8-bit computer. Was it IBM? Was it Pentium 1? When you using Pentium 1 there? I mean, like, the kids today, they don't know what Pentium 1 is. They'll be like, what is he talking about?
I miss my Pentium.
So I started there, and then I migrated to Fruity Loops, and I think my relationship with Fruity Loops was lazy, man. It was like himself. And then after Fruity Loops, I went on and bought myself a machine. It's called a machine. can make his instrument.
Is a machine called a machine? A machine.
No. You gotta understand. He's explaining. There's a machine, and machine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And that's why they call it. They call it machine. And so it's for making the instrument. And after that, I went on and got myself a booking push from Akai. That is actually used to trigger booking.
But let me pause you there, Aidan. Let me pause you there. For people who just heard this beat and we're about to play another beat after our chat, would you say like your music has a particular genre? Because I've heard you create beats out of jazz, out of R&B, out of gospel, out of everything. Would you say your music has a genre?
Out of classical.
I'm not sure if it does, man. I would say though it has feeling, because obviously when you're doing music, it starts from the inside, and then you try to interpret whatever it is going on in your mind through either a software. So I don't know, man. But my basic inspiration is hip hop and jazz mostly, and so it's there. As long as it has soul, then I'm in.
Away. Thank you so much for joining us on this call, man. Everybody, that was Aidan Gill, currently residing in the Eastern Cape. You have to be there. You have to see this place. It's amazing. Having said all that, please check him out. We're gonna play one more song by Aidan, and that'll be followed up. We got some more music videos for you.
Yeah.
Let's go. Sezzy, can you hear me, man?
Yo.
Can you hear me, bruh?
Yeah, he can hear you. He can hear you. Yo, Z, can you hear us? How's it? Just give me a call back again. Wait. Okay, guys. Yeah, we about to talk to Zweli there.
Yeah, man. Cat based in Pretoria in the industry. Yo, Zweli, how you doing?
Hello.
Yo, man, how you doing? Can you hear us?
Cabs.
Yeah, can you hear us? Oh, okay, my bad. He can hear us now.
How you doing, bruh?
He can hear us now. Yo, Zweli, can you hear us?
Yo, yeah, I can hear you now.
There we go. Yo, Z, you got me and Mafiana. Welcome to Selective Live. Thank you for joining us on this call, bruh.
Sure, man. Thank you for the call.
Away. So, man, I thought you were the right person to talk to about this. For those who don't know, who are watching right now, there's some big news happening in the South African music scene. We heard during the week that Black Coffee now has a majority stake in Gallo Music, the label.
Gallo Records.
Yeah.
How true is this?
That's true. He said it himself on online, like on social media. He posted himself. So.
Oh, he did confirm. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Damn. What do you think, man? Move forward? Confusing? What do you think?
I think Coffee. Knowing Gallo, actually, firstly, Gallo has a history in South Africa, like a big history where it had the biggest names, like legends. We're talking from Bomashatini, Mahotela Queen.
Yeah.
Thandi Samazwai.
Oh, snap.
So back then, with that group, it was a big thing. So I'm thinking that Coffee probably is investing in this and trying to bring back Gallo was the thing.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, but I think that he has plans. Obviously, he can't buy like a huge stake and just chill, bro. I think he saw a gap, and he's now taking opportunity of it.
No, that's dope, man. Do you feel like this sort of move, because this is kind of new, right? It's not usual in South Africa that an artist gets to that point. I mean, the examples we have are Sibongile Khumalo being part of Samro and all of that, but it's not a common thing. So now that there's an actual artist who's currently practicing the art form, touring the world, all of that, do you think it puts musos or artists in general in a better position in the industry?
Not necessarily, because of I feel like Coffee, besides him being just an artist, he's a businessman. He understands the business.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think he's able to separate the two. He ran Solistic as much as he's busy. It was quite a successful label.
Yeah.
I think he will have teams. He has a vision, obviously. Then he will delegate the relevant people to do the necessary job. So I think it could be possible. Like, this thing can really blow up. I don't think it will affect him, even though he's an artist.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing, man. If that happens, because I read that and I wasn't too sure what to make of it.
I think you're right. Actually, I think it's like when you step into a business, either you're an artist or a normal civilian, or it's like the companies have policies. They gotta go through those policies. They gotta go through the background, the culture of the company. You can't just come in and change your culture like that.
Precisely.
Whether you are a stakeholder or, even though some people say you can, it I guess depends on how much shares you hold.
Yeah. But also like Z was saying, like, business is business. There's that element to it. He's a businessman.
Yeah.
There's that element. Yeah. I mean, maybe I like you really much, Maf. Maybe I like you a lot, Zweli. But if you're bad for my business.
Hey, this guy. He's going to drop us like that. Drop us live on YouTube. Ding.
Man. Man, but I think he's going to put back to the map. Like, they've got a lot of big artists.
Yeah.
2 years ago, bro, I was doing a show somewhere in Boxburg, and Jonina was performing there. But I don't know Jonina was still in the industry.
Yeah.
Then he's talking about his album. Oh, I take the cover and I see Gallo. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I never knew that this guy. So I believe that Gallo has a lot of talent.
I feel you.
If they pull their socks, bruh, they can take over this country, bruh.
Now, and maybe that's the thing about Galo. They catalogs defines Mzansi music from way back. You know, the mainstream scene at least. Yeah. But anyway.
Solomon Linda.
Yeah, Solomon Linda.
How catalog? We're talking Solomon Linda.
Yo, for those who don't know, there's a huge case. There was a huge case. The guy who wrote the song Boobe, Boombe, and that song ended up with, was it Walt Disney, right? And became a huge case because somebody paid him 10 cents for that in the early 1900s. 10 cents for that, but made millions of dollars out of that song. Well,
that's not his fault, is it? Yeah.
But his descendants.
But I think it was his fault, bruh.
But his descendants ended up winning the case, and now they're still getting royalties for that particular song. So what Zweli is telling us is that Galo even had that in their catalog. That's freaking amazing. I didn't know that. Yeah. All right, cool, man. Thank you so much for joining us, Zisto.
Yeah.
Bro, thanks, man.
Wait, Zweli Masemola joining us from Pretoria. He is one of the cats in the industry, sound engineer, producer, tours the world, works with artists that you definitely know. And you probably have seen him or at least heard his work. Yeah, and that was him joining us tonight. We're gonna move on to another video.
Yeah, Ginger Trill and Top Gog, yo. I don't know, people in Joburg know this cat a lot, and actually people in the world know this cat in the hip-hop scene, you know, and also he was voted as
Lyricist of the Year.
Lyricist of the Year in 2019.
Yeah.
And
worth checking out, man. We're going to jump into this video. It's Top Gog and Ginger Trill when they were right here with us at Selective Live.
Yeah, let's check that out. Wait.
I'm gonna let them get to it. You say, money. Hey, money. You say, money. You say, money. You say, money. Hey. Money. My tummy rumbling on the humble. You finna get this pie, put you back into your mumble for that money. Shit, it's not even personal. I go live when I'm working, so sorry I was too busy to even post a story. I was posting with the gram, slagging off the corner. I know I'm in demand. I'm doing rounds like a door-to-door. I know you've been a fan. I know you've been a fiend. I know just what you need, but where my money? Push a man code with the business. Been a dope. Kinda push the man into the business. The competition tripping. It's common to fear change. Product some kind of magic. Frank Lucas, the game I give a damn what you think of me and myself. Fuck you in the game for. We in it for survival. You in it for the wave shit. We in it for the title. Got with every verses like I bit it off the. I don't wanna hear nothing when I come to collect. Get my money. I'm overcharging for finesse. Where my money. I'm even texting on respect. Get my money. And what the fuck did you expect? I don't wanna hear nothing when I'm coming to collect. Get my money. I'm overcharging for finesse. Where my I'm even texting on respect, get my. And what the fuck did you want? I'm the connect, the go-to's go-to. I'm the collect the check, then goes I'm so cool. Go toe to toe, step for step, blow for blow, don't hold your breath. Line for line, I'm probably the best. Then quote the goat, just check the net, kill the swag. Fashionably late, that's fresh to death. Finesse success, legs on my exes, yes, I'm there. Make some money, then he makes some extra, blow some change, save the rest for later. Rainy days, need that paper, check the savings, baby. Don't hate the paper, hate the pay. Don't hate the player, hate the play. Don't hate the game, I hate the game. Think outside the box like David play. Break something out, this is how fake it. I don't wanna hear nothing when I'm coming to collect. Get my money. I'm overcharging for finesse, where my money. I'm even texting on respect, get my money. What the fuck did you expect? I don't wanna hear nothing. Come to collect money. I'm overcharging for finesse, where my money. I'm even texting on respect, get my money. And what the fuck did you expect? I don't wanna hear nothing when I'm coming to collect. Get my money. I'm overcharging for finesse, where my money. I'm even texting on respect, get my money. What the fuck did you expect? I don't wanna hear nothing. Come here, money. I'm overcharging for finesse, where my money. I'm even texting on respect, get my money. And what the fuck did you expect? Come on. Money. Yo, man.
Hey, I think this is our last offering for the evening.
Yeah.
Yo.
I can't believe it's over that quickly. We're going to do one more cut, right?
Oh yeah.
How's it, guys? Yo, back in the mix. What's up, yo? That was Ginger Trill, yo. You know, Ginger Trill and Top Gog from Johannesburg.
Yeah, and that was a tune called Money. You've probably heard this tune in like Nedbank adverts and a few other places.
Yeah.
It's a nice
yo.
track. So they came through here to Selective twice, yeah?
Yeah.
They came to play her twice, and
two times in a row.
What you just saw was their second time coming to Selective Live. I thought it was dope. I really liked it. And we enjoyed ourselves on stage, man. It was really nice. Top Gog and Ginger Trill, Top and Trill. We're hoping to see them again pretty soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, it depends on the level 4 of if the president lets us see them again. He's got the remote control for us to which channels we have to watch.
Ginger Trill just released a new song, actually. Yeah, check him out on Instagram and whatnot. In Spotify, you'll find his music there as well. Yeah, pretty dope cat, I thought.
Yeah. He's quite a, cat with nice flows, man. And the combination, the duo between him and Top Gog is cats who have nice energy, and it actually complements each other, because the one cat is more hyperactive, and the other cat is more of a, he has the whole thing grounded at the same time,
Foundation.
But the foundation, yeah. So it's it's a nice combo. It's a nice combination of the two cats, man.
He comes from that school of Abu Flaba, Tumi, Stogie T.
Yeah.
That school of thought. He actually did a song with Reason HD as well. So it's that particular
era,
or rather, because these cats are still pushing and grinding, it's more like that particular, but for lack of a better word, that particular class of MCs.
Like it comes from it's like saying this boy comes from a well-grounded family. It comes from from the era where content matters, and where
they're right, they're right. These motherfuckers can be right.
They can write lyrics, man, which is very important. I think it's for the culture of music to keep on growing as well, as in like for it to ever last, or to listen to it today and next week and next year, who knows, 10 years to come. It has to be good. I mean, if you look at the likes of the cats who made their history, like Bob Marley and them, like the Fugees, it's like those are that's like timeless music. That's just one example. Even if you go South Africa, it's like, if you listen to Hugh Masekela or Hot Sticks Mabuse, is that like you can play it today. I mean, I can go to Ganesh and Observatory, if I could, like before lockdown, and obviously I could go there and they will play Hot Sticks and everybody will be jumping around, Whereas if it doesn't have that significance or substance, it just doesn't hold time. Yeah,
makes sense, Math. It's Mafioso dropping Grootman knowledge on you.
Of course, man. always.
We're gonna play one more video for you. Before we end the night with some music, and then
let's talk about who we're gonna play now.
We got this lady, also Cape Town based. Her name is Tiffany Joseph. She came through here and did the thing. Actually, I think the first time I met her was when she was at Selective Live with Jits Finger. She featured on one of the songs.
She came with Jits Finger to feature.
What a beautiful voice, man. What an amazing voice. What I didn't know was that she's actually a good songwriter as well.
Yeah, and also a very humble person, She's very humble and very, I would say, one of those underrated singers, or really underexposed. It's not really underrated. It's just underexposed.
Cool. And shout outs to Tiffany wherever you are, and Eid Mubarak.
Yes, I think she's in Muizenberg, southern suburbs of Cape Town. You guys, here's Tiffany.
My last song that I'm going to perform, and it's called By the Water. we keeping it chilled, nah.
I'll be sitting by the water, sitting by the water, just sitting here thinking of you. Yeah. I'll be sitting by the water, sitting by the water, just sitting here thinking of you. Baby. You're making moves in my heart, the moves in my heart. You're making moves in my. You're making moves in my heart, the moves in my heart. You're making moves in mine. I'll be sitting by the water, sitting by the water, just sitting here thinking of you. I'll be by the water, sitting by the water, just sitting here thinking of you. I don't wanna be bothered with what I say, but it would mean the world to me if you take this flow on the go. So you know it's in the water, it's in the water, it's in the water, it's in the water. Creativity is in the water, memory is in the water, healing is in the water. You and me, we are the water. Memory is in the water, healing is in the water, creativity is in the water. You and me, we are the water. I'll be by the water, sitting by the water, just sitting here thinking of you. I'll be sitting by the water, sitting by the water, just sitting here thinking of you. Da 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 da. Sitting by the water, just sitting here thinking of you. I'll be by the water, sitting by the water, just sitting here thinking of you. Everybody, give it up for the band. Thank you so much. Please enjoy yourselves. I really appreciate that you all came out. Enjoy the rest of Mother's Day. Thank you so much.
What up?
What up? You're chilling with Mzu, the one they call Def F, and you are watching Selective Live.
Yo, that was the one and only Tiffany Joseph. I thought the performance was really nice. If you look closely, you would have seen Adon sneak up in front of her with a camera.
Yep.
Yeah. Once again, Eid Mubarak to all our Muslim listeners and viewers, and Eid Mubarak to Tiffany. She blessed us that night. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a dope one, I think. We know the president is about to go on and advise us on what to do next.
What's going to happen in Cape Town, in South Africa as a whole. What's next? We don't know if we have to open Selective Live again.
Yeah.
So we're going to hear that. So we won't take much of your time because I know everybody also has to tune in, and we also have to tune in. It's very important for everybody. So we're going to actually just do that. But
for all you cigarette smokers, I feel for you.
Oh yeah, all of those bad guys there. I feel for them too, man.
What bad guys? That's you, bro.
I don't know. I feel for those guys. Yeah. But by the way, anyway, so before we get out of here, I've got a couple of beats that I have made in the last couple of months.
Yes,
so I gotta showcase some of that and some beats that like maybe from last year, 2019. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
it's best you check your pros and cons at all times. Check it or make it, yo. So check pros and cons before your heart gets on. Be in this to win this from start and straight on. Business is business, we out to take all. Witness the fitness from arm and leg on. Check pros and cons before your heart gets torn. Be in this to win this from start and straight on. Business is business, we out to take all. Witness the fitness from arm and leg on.
There's only one of those, not the pose that don't that capsize. Yet the ones that afraid to reconcile the land. While Gordon rocks a Jordan, afraid to postmortem while the land decays, I ricochet my thoughts. While I dive into divide upon the land. To repay existence of the sand. Yo, I'll simplify my thoughts. Go on. Yo, what Aries entrance into the realm. Mucus hung, the lung filled drills while we build. Still chill upon the recommendations. Check the pros and cons, I'm signing from a non-metabolism and mafiana.
Yo, so check pros and cons before your heart gets on. Be in this to win this from start and straight on. Business is business, we out to take all. Witness the fitness from arm and leg on. Check pros and cons before your heart gets torn. Be in this to win this from start and straight on. Business is business, we out to take all. Witness the fitness from arm and leg on.
Well, I thought it's ridiculous, no one will ever speak to us. Selective and conspicuous from me to the bone. I've seen a lot of cats whose hearts are stone cold, but never stick around when their shit unfolds. Manners of a man is just beyond hold, beyond doubt and reason that will ever be sold. I'm priceless with license to chill on my own. Egos are controlled when their hats gets blown. We're kids back then, but today we've grown. Take back the land and look out for your own. The pros and cons are connected to my soul. Metabs and math, take these digits to your phone. So check pros and cons before your heart gets on. Be in this to win this from start and straight on. Business is business, we out to take all. Witness the fitness from arm and leg on. Check pros and cons before your heart gets torn. Be in this to win this from start and straight on. Business is business, we out to take all. Witness the fitness from arm and leg on.
For some time to come, there is a massive effort to develop a
Top for the mind, yeah, what it do? Yo, I banned bridges amongst witches. Left a lot of scars that still in 4 stitches. Trained with the villagers who still drown witches. Landing at a state where the cricket bomb bitches. So I banned bridges amongst witches. Left a lot of scars that still in 4 stitches. Trained with the villagers who still drown witches. Landing at a state where the cricket bomb bitches.
Respected and experienced scientists, clinicians, and epidemiologists, as well as public health experts. We're extremely grateful for the work that this Ministerial Advisory Committee has been able to do and continue to do to ensure that our response is informed by the best available scientific evidence. We appreciate the diverse and sometimes challenging views of the scientists and health professionals in our country, which stimulate public debate and enrich our response, and we respect that. We have also been guided by advice from the World Health Organization and the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention, which is part of the African Union. As we are dealing with a pandemic that affects the lives and the livelihoods of all South Africans, it was important that we consult as widely as possible. These consultations have been both necessary and worthwhile in that we received several constructive suggestions. These suggestions have enriched the thinking in government, providing a direct view of the challenges that our people in different constituencies confront. The groups we consulted are as diverse and as varied as the South African people themselves. And all of them agree that we acted appropriately and decisively to slow the spread of the virus. They are all united in their insistence that our central goal must be to save lives and to protect livelihoods. While there are several areas of difference, all of these groups are in broad agreement on the approach we need to take to build on the gains that we have made thus far. While the nationwide lockdown has been effective, it cannot be sustained indefinitely. We introduced the 5-level COVID-19 alert system to manage the gradual easing of the lockdown. This risk-adjusted approach is guided by several criteria, including the level of infections and the rate of transmission, the capacity of our health facilities, the extent of the implementation of public health interventions, and the economic and social impact of continued restrictions. It is on the basis of these criteria and the following consultation that Cabinet has determined that the alert level for the whole country should be lowered from level 4 to level 3, with effect from the 1st of June 2020. Moving to alert level 3 marks a significant shift in our approach to the pandemic. This will result in the opening up of the economy and the removal of a number of restrictions on the movement of people, while significantly expanding and intensifying our public health interventions. Even as we move to alert level 3, it is important that we should be aware that there are a few parts of our country where the disease is concentrated and where infections continue to rise. We will have what we call a differentiated approach to deal with these areas that have far higher levels of infection and transmission. These areas will be declared coronavirus hotspots. A hotspot is defined as an area that has more than 5 infected people per 100,000 people, or where new infections are increasing at a very fast pace. The following metros in our country have been identified as coronavirus hotspots: Tshwane, Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni, eThekwini, Nelson Mandela Bay, Buffalo City, and Cape Town. There are other areas that are also hotspots, and they being West Coast, Overberg, and Cape Winelands district municipalities in the Western Cape, Chris Hani district in the Eastern Cape, and Ilembe district in KwaZulu-Natal. We are particularly concerned about the situation in the city of Cape Town and in the Western Cape generally, which now has more than half the total infections in the country. We are attending to this as a matter of urgency. The list of hotspot areas will be reviewed every 2 weeks, depending on the progression of the virus. In dealing with the virus in these areas, we will implement intensive interventions aimed at decreasing the number of new infections. We're putting in place enhanced measures of surveillance, infection control, and management. We will assign a full-time team of experienced personnel to each of these hotspots. This team will include epidemiologists, family practitioners, nurses, community health workers, public health experts, and emergency medical services, and these will be supported by the Cuban doctors who are experts. We will link each hotspot to testing services, isolation facilities, quarantine facilities, treatment, hospital beds, and contact tracing. Should it be necessary, any part of the country could be returned to alert levels 4 or 5 if the spread of infection is not contained despite our interventions, and that where we see that there is a risk of our health facilities being overwhelmed. In time, however, through our efforts, it will be possible, and we are aiming for this, to place areas where infections are low on levels 2 and 1. The implementation of alert level 3 from the beginning of June will involve the return to operation of most sectors of our economy, subject to the observance of strict health protocols and social distancing rules. The opening of the economy and other activities means that more public servants will also be required to go back to work. This will be done in accordance with provisions of the Occupational Health and Safety Act and as guided by the Department of Public Service and Administration, working together with all government departments. We appreciate the work that continues to be done by public servants, especially those who are in the front line in the fight against COVID-19. The safety of all workers, including public servants, is a matter of concern to us. We will continue to make all efforts for the adequate provision of personal protection equipment to ensure safety for everyone while at work. Our priority is to reduce the opportunities for the transmission of the virus and create a safe environment for everyone. We're therefore asking that those who do not need to go to work or to go to an educational institution continue to stay at home. People will also be able to leave their homes to buy goods or obtain services, including medical health care. People will also be able, in this level 3, to be able to exercise at any time during the day, provided this is not done in groups. The curfew and the movement of people will be lifted. Alcohol will be sold for home consumption only under strict conditions on specified days and for limited hours.
I can see South Africans going.
Announcements in this regard will be made once we have concluded discussions with the sector on the various conditions. The sale will remain prohibited in alert level 3 due to the health risks associated with smoking.
What?
All gatherings will remain prohibited except for funerals.
We can sell alcohol.
With no more than 50 people or meetings in the workplace for work purposes. Any place open to the public where cultural, sporting, entertainment, recreational, exhibitional, organizational, or similar activities may take place will remain closed. We have had fruitful discussions with the leaders of the interfaith religious community on their proposals for the partial opening of spiritual worship and counseling services subject to certain norms and standards. We have all agreed to have further discussions on this issue and are confident that we will find a workable solution. We wish our Muslim compatriots well over Eid. They have all gone through a period of sacrifice, which should ordinarily be followed by a celebration. We wish to thank them for making the necessary adjustments to this celebration as we continue to fight this pandemic together. In opening up the economy, we will rely on social compacts with all key role players to address the key risks factors at the workplace and in the interface between employees and the public. We will therefore be finalizing a number of sector protocols and will require every company to develop a workplace plan before they reopen their operations. According to these plans, companies will need to put in place sanitary and social distancing measures and facilities. They will need to screen workers on arrival each day, quarantine those who may be infected, and make arrangements for them to be tested. They also need to assist with contact tracing if employees test positive. Because of their vulnerability, all staff who are older than 60 years of age and those who suffer from underlying conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, chronic respiratory disease, and cancer should ideally stay at home. Employees who can work from home should be allowed to do so. Subject to these measures, all manufacturing, mining, construction, financial services, professional and business services, information technology, communications, government services, and media services will commence full-time reopening from the 1st of June. Appropriate restart and phasing in arrangements will need to be put in place for every workplace. Wholesale and retail trade will be fully opened, including stores, spaza shops, and informal traders. E-commerce will continue to remain open as well. Other sectors that opened previously, such as agriculture and forestry, utilities, medical services, food production and manufacture of hygiene products will remain fully opened. To ensure that we maintain social distancing, certain high-risk economic activities will remain prohibited. These include places such as restaurants, bars, taverns, except for delivery or collection of food. Accommodation and domestic air travel, except for business travel, which will be phased in on dates to be announced. Conferences, events, entertainment and sporting facilities. Personal care services, including hairdressing and beauty services. The return to work will be phased in so that the workplace can be made coronavirus ready. It must be done in a manner that avoids and reduces risk of infection. We have held discussions with the tourism, hotel and restaurant industry regarding the challenges and hard sectors are experiencing. They have made several proposals regarding the measures they intend to put in place when their sectors are opened. We are giving consideration to these proposals, and we are confident that we will find a workable solution as well. There are many companies that have gone beyond what is required by regulation to support the coronavirus response, including those who have already provided screening, testing, and even isolation facilities for their employees. And we thank them for this. We will be discussing with larger employers how they can make quarantine facilities available for their workers as well. We applaud those companies and individuals that have contributed to the Solidarity Fund and in other ways to our response. And these include companies such as Volkswagen, which is building a field hospital in an unused factory in Nelson Mandela Bay that will be able to accommodate up to 4,000 beds. One of the greatest challenges we will face with a move to level 3, which will enable the return to work of, well, up to 8 million people, will be the increased risk of transmission in public transport. We need to have a partnership between commuters, taxi and bus operators, business and government to take our people to places of work safely. Commuters will always need to wear masks, be it in buses, in taxis, or on trains, to wash their hands before and after they have traveled, and avoid touching their faces with unwashed hands. Commuters will also need to keep a safe distance from other commuters. Taxi and bus operators need to observe the regulations to be announced by the Minister of Transport, including ensuring that their vehicles are regularly sanitized. A number of businesses have advised us that they are looking at how they can reduce congestion on public transport, including through staggering working hours and providing transport for employees. Our national borders will remain closed except for the transport of goods and the repatriation of our nationals. Another difficult challenge that we had to confront is the reopening of schools. Our priority is the health and well-being of learners, students, educators, and workers in these institutions. We are also concerned about the growth and development of our children, and that an entire generation of learners should not be permanently disadvantaged by this pandemic. We are therefore taking a cautious and a phased approach to the reopening of schools, guided by medical advice and in consultation with all stakeholders. We will be resuming classes for grades 7 and 12 learners from the 1st of June. Strict infection control measures and, where necessary, additional water and sanitation infrastructure are being put in place to enable social distancing, regular hand washing, and learner safety. Measures are also being put in place to ensure safety as children access the school nutrition program and learner transport. The school calendar will be revised and the curriculum will be trimmed so that we can still recover the 2020 year school. It is understandable that there is some concern about the reopening of schools, and I must stress that no parent will be forced to send their child to school if they are worried about safety at the school. But if we all work together, if we diligently follow all the precautions and protocols, we'll be able to keep our schools safe. We're also taking a phased approach to the resumption of learning at institutions of higher learning. From the 1st of June, all public universities are expected to implement remote teaching and learning strategies to ensure that all students are given a fair opportunity to complete the 2020 academic year. With the start of Alert Level 3, no more than a third of the student population will be allowed to return to campuses on condition that they can be safely accommodated. Institutions will open up further as the coronavirus alert level changes. As we mobilize our health resources to meet the expected surge of coronavirus cases, we must make sure that we do not create the space for the emergence of other health crises. Routine health services should therefore be fully opened and continue to provide services with attention to childhood immunization, contraceptive services, antenatal care, diagnosis and treatment of tuberculosis and HIV, management of chronic diseases, and support for survivors of gender-based violence. We need to consistently affirm that the rights of all people to life and dignity stands at the center of our response to the coronavirus, and that we must stand firm against any actions that infringe on these and other basic human rights that our people have, as guaranteed by our Constitution. Fellow South Africans, we have witnessed the courage of those who have continued to work throughout the nationwide lockdown, caring for those who are sick, providing food and basic services, working to keep our country going under difficult conditions. The burden of the lockdown has been most severe for those least able to bear it. Now it is time for most of us to return to work and to resume parts of our lives that have been on hold since the lockdown began. However, I want to emphasize that the easing of some restrictions does not mean that the threat posed by the coronavirus has passed or that our fight against the disease is over. In fact, the risk of a massive increase in infection is now greater than it has been since the start of the outbreak in our country. Now is the time when we must intensify our efforts and deepen our cooperation. Now we look once again to you, to your actions and to your sense of responsibility. We look to you to uphold the sanctity of life and the dignity of all people. We also look to you to protect the weakest and most vulnerable amongst us. We look to you to demonstrate the solidarity and compassion that has characterized the response of the South African people to this crisis. In meeting this grave challenge, we will move ahead as one people, united in action and determined that we will surely overcome. At this time, more than any other, we are reminded of the words of the father of our nation, Madiba, when he said, "It is now in your hands." May God bless South Africa and protect its people. I thank you.
Yeah, guys, that was Mr. President right there. President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Muslims across the globe
briefing
are
us on what
expected
level
to
we're
celebrate
gonna go.
Eid tomorrow.
Today, let
Comes
me
after
just get that out the way. Yeah, I was saying that was Cyril Ramaphosa talking to us about what's gonna happen next in terms of lockdown restrictions and all of that stuff, you know, and which is important because we all need to know what's gonna happen next, you know, what's the rules, all of that stuff. But which is there's few promises that's gonna change because now we're going to level 3. They say from stage 4 to stage 3. Even though I don't know if Cape Town is on stage 3 tabs, maybe you can.
Yeah. He said nationally, but then we got hotspots. Cape Town in general,
Western Cape in general is one of them.
A hotspot. They've identified certain areas. If you've been keeping up with the news on the past few days, you will have seen that I think Tambour's Grove is one of the hotspots. There's actually a map of hotspot places in the city of Cape Town. Ekurhuleni is also a hotspot. Tshwane is also a hotspot. So from what the president said, they're going to focus their efforts on those hotspot places.
To ease up the situation.
Is there, equipment is there, PPE, all of that.
Yeah, just to ease up the situation. Yeah. So what's your but the thing is, for me, I think the president didn't say anything about the art industry, entertainment, and much about businesses. In fact, except that bottle stores can now trade
on particular days.
On particular days as well. Yeah. But he hasn't said anything in terms of like economy-wise. Maybe, you know, we can devise a plan to say like, okay, maybe we can switch up. You know, just switch up a little bit of like ease up the situation. You know.
To be honest, like for me, it sounds like it's like in every other country. Well, except Japan apparently. In every other country, the balance between health and the economy. You know, public health and the economy, and it looks like South Africa's realized. Our government's realized that you will never win when it comes to the economy. Like you gotta make these compromises. Because otherwise, I feel like this particular government would have rather, if our country had money, they would have gone, nah, fuck it. Everybody stay home for 6 months. You know, if our country had money,
if we could afford that.
But now we can't. We know we can't afford it, so we have to compromise. And so the reason
is that like means now we have to compromise life, because that means like we have to compromise life of others.
So here's the thing. Here's the common debate. The common debate, particularly from conservative Americans, I've noticed, is and it's relevant here as well. It's like, okay, everybody stays at home. Some people can't afford to stay at home, so that will kill them.
You know? Yeah, definitely.
You know, exactly. And now, like, you really playing this balancing act, man. It's just terrible. It's like cheating on your girl, man. It's just so terrible to juggle this shit. You saw the president. He looks tired. He looks so exhausted.
He's done.
I feel for him, man. But
which makes a lot of sense. I think everyone is done, man. Everyone is. There's a friend of mine who was telling me like businesses are like shutting down, and you know, and his business was, I don't know if I should say is selling coffee in markets, you know, and setting up a coffee machine. Now you can't do. You don't have people.
We both know a guy who runs a restaurant, and he's a brewer. He had to let people go He had to let people go. He had just opened this new restaurant this year.
Yeah.
Now he's had to let people go. I know several people that have been retrenched. The majority of us South Africans are gonna suffer, and that's what the government has to do with that.
And it's a serious issue. Actually, it's a very serious issue, which I don't know, because the government is not really prepared to cover that stake. You know, like I don't know if they are prepared to be able to save those companies or save those people's.
You know what a friend of mine was saying. If SAA makes it out of this, then they're untouchable. If SAA makes it out of this,
that's true.
I'm not gonna believe it, bro. If SAA makes it out of this.
That's true, man. I think that is true, and
I mean that's
an obvious situation.
That's like a football player who broke his ankle making it to the finals of the World Cup, bro.
That's it. Well said.
That's SAA.
That's what's up. God damn, well said there. You know, yeah, no, I doubt actually they're gonna make it. You know, I think there was some international intervention on SAA flying foreign nationals, for instance, with I think the German government was involved, and US, I think the British now, and to like fly people back home.
That repatriation thing.
Repatriation.
They recently flew back. I don't know if it was through SAA. There was a bunch of artists who were stuck in Turkey. So there's a lot of artists who work in Turkey and like the Middle East as well. For like they do hotel work, and they stay there on like a 6-month contract. So this group of artists, there's like 20 of them. So this group of artists, they were there for work in Turkey, Istanbul, and Corona broke out. There was no more work for them, and they didn't have enough money to come back home.
Oh well, that's relative everywhere now. But what I was gonna say is that like also like. Then I think also SAA could have made money there.
What do you mean?
As in like maybe the government should have negotiated.
No, it just happened yesterday, I think. Nothing got them to come back home. Yeah, they flew them back home.
Oof. So whose expense is that?
That's definitely at the public's expense. Yeah, that's our expense.
Yeah.
But look, man, my personal opinion, SAA should die. SAA should disappear. There's no reason for us to have a national carrier airline. No. There is no reason whatsoever.
I think the reason behind it is that the government is hoping to make some money. And the problem there is that it's not making money, I think, or this is my opinion, not really something proven, but it's because there's so much that has been dented. There was so much corruption behind it, and then it just went into a deep debt. And so now to recuperate that money is going to be difficult, because now you need to actually, first of all, you have to clear the whole lot. Because we all know that in a machinery, if the machinery is broken or has some fault, you can't just replace the screw and the hope it's gonna be like the same. You know what I mean? It's
like it on clean. It's called the machine.
Because what happens is that there are still people who know how. They will not stop what they're doing. I mean, because they know they haven't been caught. Until they get caught, they will stop.
They had this lady who
that's a problem.
The lady who became chair for SAA a couple of years ago, I think it was Dudumien.
Yeah.
And she was supposed to turn it around. And she established this committee against corruption and a hotline. Like you could send an email to this hotline anonymously.
Hectic.
To complain about corruption. But you know what happened? She got caught in Pretoria's Sunnyside, I think, at an internet cafe, and she was anonymously reporting corruption. The chair, bruh.
Jesus.
That's how bad it is at SAA, right?
That's bad, yeah. And the fact that you have to do it anonymously. But I guess it's also you don't want to be targeted. You don't want to be.
That's the thing, man.
As a whistleblower, we don't know how far you can stay safe in this country. You know, it's like nobody knows. It's like you can blow a whistle. Who's gonna protect you? You know, because the people who's supposed to protect you, who's supposed to give you the protection, maybe might be just infiltrated, or like it might be included.
To get back to the outside of things and all of that. Having listened to the president, we're hoping. Guys, we just want to make sure that It's safe when we do reopen Selective Live. It's safe for the performers. It's safe for our patrons. Everybody that comes through here is safe and happy.
Yeah,
that's what we need to make sure, and that's why we're keeping up with the politics, with not just politics, I guess, like the trajectory of things in the country. We just want to be safe, and in the meantime, not just meantime, actually, we're gonna keep doing this online content for good. We got you. We got your back. We got you. Whatever you need, hit us up. We can make dope content happen. Hit us up if you got suggestions. Hit us up and let's chat.
Yeah, it's very important, and I think it's like for us right now to keep relevance as well in the arts industry. Even though that, like, my other thing is that, like, the arts is so underrated and not discussed. Nobody says anything about the entertainment industry,
and yet people are stuck at home. They do their work for an hour or 2 or 3
and go watch Netflix,
and then you go watch something,
and they go watch entertainment
or you're listening to music. Imagine if all of that was gone tomorrow.
Yeah, would you just be heading cows and like heading goats, or
everybody would be
drinking milk from the cow directly, or what would we do? Yeah, I think that's especially in the city life,
Yeah, I'm just saying. And remember, guys, when we say entertainment, if it was gone, we're talking everything from Netflix to Pornhub to Spotify
to your radio network.
If it was all gone,
yeah, exactly. If it was all gone and it's dead, it's like just being in if like now, like lockdown, noise, nothing, everything gone,
bruh,
it's just you.
I spent most of January without internet. I was dying. I was dying, and that's just like, it's privileged of me to say, but I was dying.
Damn, man, I can imagine. Now it is a privilege. Imagine those kids who don't have.
But now imagine you
not even a 3G connection, and you say I was dying.
Imagine you got internet and no content.
That's true, and that's very important. Actually, of which that's the one thing that we have here at Selective Live, guys, is we have so many performances and musicians, good, average to everything, but mostly good, like very, very good performances. And I think it just needs a culture where we have to acknowledge that without arts, the world is actually nothing. Without entertainment, without the musicians, without we're gonna struggle. We don't see it now because we are overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that's coming in, but in the future, actually, that's that will strike us hard.
To be honest, that's the one thing I like about the one silver lining about this period in time in 2020. People are locked down, blah blah, but there's a lot of content that's being made.
There's a lot of realization too.
But you know what the problem is with a lot of content? Now we need the quality filter.
That's what we need to do. That we have a pop. We have with this thing called the pop shield. What it does, it filters the sound so that for me I don't pop. To make sure the quality is good, you can hear me loud and clear. But now I don't pronounce my P's so hard because I know it's not there. But that's what we need. We need a
pop filter.
We need a pop filter. So that every content that you get as well, it's worth
your time.
It's worth your time. And also the thing is, content, that quality comes with price. It's even though we can say quality comes with skill and comes, but also at some point it requires price. It also requires a bit of machinery. If we can go to Adon's comment, a machine is called machine. But you need some good equipment in order to make it as well, to make it happen, of which it comes at a price, which this is why we actually now also could come back to the public and say, we need some donations. We need to get some donations so we can keep quality control. Keep getting even the good musicians, give them a good platform, give them a platform where they can perform with good microphones, with good equipment and a good stage platform.
But like I said, we got your back and we hope you've got ours. From Selective Live, everybody. Tabiso and Lianda Mafiana
right here, And I think that's us for tonight, guys. It's almost 8 o'clock in South Africa, and it's time for curfew time. Until next week, actually, it's not going to be curfew anymore.
Yes, until next week. We're going to have...
Level 3.
On Saturday, we've got Grabs. This DJ who's going to hit it for you. I hope you guys tune in for that. And then we'll give you more information throughout the week about what's popping in the weekend.
Which means just follow us on Instagram, Selective Live, and on Facebook, also follow Selective Live, and on Twitter and
on
YouTube as
yes,
well.
Sir.
Now, so please make sure you stay on lock. Thank you very much. That's us in a nutshell.